Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of With Love Lola, with your host, of course, me, Lola, hence the sign. But let's just get into, I suck at these intros. Let's just get into today's first story. My fiancé made a split-second decision that has cost me a year of my life, and I'm furious. I, 26 female, my fiancé, 30 male, and his son, 5, were getting out of Chipotle on March 14th. On the way home, we reached a busy intersection with a blinking yellow light. My fiancé was driving and I could tell he was about to go. I saw a car coming fast and I very clearly told him to wait until the light was green. I don't know if he didn't hear me, didn't take me seriously, or just ignored me, but he kept driving forward anyway, and we got T-boned by a car going 50 miles an hour. Everyone else walked away fine, including his son, thank God, but I was crushed. I ended up with 2 full breaks in my pelvis, 2 fractures in my tailbone, fractured in my L4 and L5 vertebrae, and a fractured sternum. I was and still am in so much pain, I can't even explain it. I wouldn't wish this kind of pain on anyone. I was rushed to the ER where everything was a complete blur, except the trauma. I started having intense flashbacks, panic attacks, and nightmares about the crash and the pain. I had to undergo surgery where 2 7-inch steel screws were inserted into my pelvis. At the hospital, they gave me a back brace that was way too big for me. The nurses and the PTs even admitted they didn't measure and just guessed my size. Even when we told them it was too big, they didn't do anything about it. And despite this, they expected me to stand up and move around wearing it. That brace did nothing to support. Moving it felt like my spine and pelvis were being ripped apart. The pain I was in trying to follow their orders to stand and walk was inhumane. All I remembered from those days in pain, frustration, fear, and this overwhelming sense of helplessness. After about a week, I was transferred to a physical rehabilitation center. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to bathe. I didn't want to move. I was so depressed and in so much pain that even thinking about shifting in bed made me cry. I had to depend on strangers for the most basic things. Going to the bathroom, bathing, and even feeding myself. As someone who's always been independent, it was utterly humiliating and devastating. I'm home now, but my recovery is far from over. Doctors and physical therapists all told me the same thing. You have the second worst kind of break anyone can experience. You'll need at least a year to recover, if not longer. You can't put weight on your right leg for 3 months. No bending, no twisting, and even after 3 months, it'll be a very slow process. And that's the part that's eating me alive. Because before this, I was finally getting my life together. I was working on my health. I was eating right, doing CrossFit regularly, getting stronger, and finally meeting people and socializing. I had just gone back to college. I was finally building structure into my life after being recently diagnosed with ADHD. And now it's all on hold. I can't work out. I can't leave the house unless it's for a doctor's appointment. I can't do anything by myself. And it feels like I lost everything I was working so hard to build. And even though my fiancé has been supportive through all of this and is helping take care of me, I'm so angry at him. I told him, I warned him. I said, don't go, wait. And when I asked him why he kept going, he just said, I don't know. And that I don't know is now costing me an entire year of my life, maybe more. And I'm the one who's paying for it every single day. So yeah, I just needed to get this off my chest. I feel trapped in my own body. I feel like I'm grieving the life I could have had this year. I feel angry, sad, helpless, and I'm just trying to make sense of it all. But mostly, I just want my life back. I know this is temporary. I know I'll eventually recover. But losing a year of my life, my sense of normalcy, and my peace of mind is really, really tough. If anyone has any advice on how I can work on this, or maybe even share their own experiences similar to this one, I'd greatly appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Dang. You know, I think something like this where it's like completely preventable, this will definitely, like, you can still love that person deeply, but this will affect your love. Or especially when it comes to driving, I hate being in the car with reckless drivers, which is why I always volunteer to drive, especially in my car, because I'm comfortable and I know my driving skills are top notch and I know I will keep us safe, right? The best way, you have to be a preventative driver where it's like, you know, you can be safe, but you have to also try to calculate the actions of other people, where it's like, that's why it's like, it's not worth it for those yellow lights because other people are dumb and will be gassing through it, you know? And for you to even risk putting your wife or your fiance or your kids at that, it just shows that you didn't care enough, right? It can happen in a split second, and it did. And it sucks because you did nothing wrong, right? You even told him, slow down, don't go past it. And he did it, and he walks away, you know, scot-free. Not saying that he's not, you know, going through it in a different way mentally, but I can't imagine the pain you're going through and being off your feet like that for over a year and having to get back to where you were. You know, life is definitely going to change for you and you just have to find your new normal. Am I wrong for refusing to take care of my husband's medical equipment? So my husband, 42 male, and I, 41 female, are having a disagreement. Here's the situation. He uses a CPAP machine at night. He's had it for over 15 years and never puts it away in the morning. He has decided that it's my responsibility to take care of it and prevent the children or our pets from touching it. He says it's unreasonable for him to put it away every morning, even though there are many things the kids and I use and put away every single day. He insists that other things of his be left where it's convenient for himself, even if it makes life harder for the rest of us. Example, he will leave his shoes under the kitchen table and tells me that I should just not clean the floor there so that his shoes don't get moved. He goes to great lengths to make life easier for himself, even if that means putting more difficulty on me and our children. Last night, our cat got into our bedroom and chewed on the hose for his CPAP. I didn't know it till we went to bed and my husband freaked out. He demanded to know why I wasn't watching his CPAP and why I had let it get ruined. Then he decided he wants to lock me and the kids out of our bedroom while he leaves for work every morning. I said, absolutely not. Our second bathroom is only accessible through the bedroom. All of my own things are in the bedroom and that would leave me without access to any of my things during the day unless I cleared everything out of my room and the second bedroom, which is also where I keep my makeup and other personal items, which to me seems totally unreasonable. I told him he should put away his CPAP every morning. He says it's such an unreasonable thing for him to remember to do such an annoying task and that he shouldn't have to put anything he owns away. I feel like he should be responsible for his own things and that it's unreasonable for him to lock me out of my own room. So am I the asshole? Why do you wipe your ass? Why don't you just walk out of it? Because it's something you have to do. Make this part of your routine. This is stupid. What is wrong with him? What even is a CPAP? I'm gonna Google it. Oh, it's for sleep. Oh, my mom has one of these. I've seen these. Okay, it's for sleep apnea. Yeah, that's why. It's funny that he's blaming you. Why aren't you watching my machine? Get out of here with that. Next. Am I wrong for banning my wife's friend from my house after she pushed me from taking my drunk wife home? My wife is 27 and I'm 28. My wife has a friend, a bit of a close friend in fact. She's been friends with her since the past 2 years. I don't like her at all and a lot of people find her insufferable. This weekend my wife told me that she's going to her friend's house and she'll spend her evening and night at her place with their 2 other friends. I asked her if they'll drink. She told me yes, but she won't go overboard this time and she'll book a cab and come home before 10. I told my wife that she won't book a cab and I'll come pick her up and she shouldn't drink a lot. She promised me she wouldn't, but I had this feeling that she might drink too much because my wife has tendencies of over drinking, especially when she's excited and partying, so I went to pick her up an hour before. When I showed up at her friend's place, I saw all of these drunk women dancing, drinking, and screaming like they ran out of a mental asylum, and my wife was laying on the couch, clearly drunk. I grabbed my wife and told her it's time to leave. Her friends stopped me and insisted I let my wife stay for a bit longer, and even my wife said to wait for a bit. I told them that they've been having fun and drinking for so many hours and it's more than enough for today. When I tried to leave with my wife, her friend tried to stop me a bit forcefully, and when I didn't listen to her, she pushed me and called me controlling and cursed me in front of everyone. I told her that the only reason I'm not retaliating is because she's a woman and I'm in her house, but from this moment, she's not allowed in my house, and if she comes over to my house ever again, I'll call the police. I left with my wife and we went home. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy that, but anyway, now all of her friends are telling me that I'm being a controlling husband and I have no right to tell my wife what she can and can't do, and I don't have the right to ban her friend from her house. Am I the asshole? Sure, I'm a bit angry, but my anger is not without reason. And if I appear as a controlling husband, I think my wife's situation warrants it. And I'm just doing what I think is best for my wife. I'm curious to hear what your wife said the next day. Friends have no right to go up to your friend's partner and talk about their relationship, right? That's between husband and wife. You don't get to call him controlling, any of that type of stuff, right? They had a prior agreement. She was obviously drunk. He wanted to make sure his wife got home okay. Instead of having that reaction, you should be happy like, hey, my girlfriend has such a good husband who would come all this way to pick her up to make sure she gets home safely. Like, you gotta look at it from the other side too. And you have absolutely to ban whoever the hell you want from your house. But I think you need to have a discussion with your wife and talk about what the hell happened, and her friend's gonna talk to you like that. I want to hear what she said, but you didn't include that, so a little bit sus. Am I wrong for telling my sister she lost me the second she even considered dating my ex, who gave me an STD and didn't tell me? Oh man, sinister sister story, I guess. I, 28 female, was with this guy called Jason, a 29 male, when we were 20 and 21 years old. We broke up when I was 22 after I'd found out he had not only cheated on me, but knew he had contracted an STD from sleeping around and didn't tell me. He had known about it and he was told he needed to speak to any sexual partners because of the risks associated with this STD to fertility, and he said nothing. Is there not a law? Like, I wish you could prosecute against it. If you know someone gave you an STD knowing that they already had it, you should be able to prosecute them. I remember when I told my family what happened and they were all there to support me, me, and my sister, 27 female, was one of them. I did move on and I met my husband a year after breaking up with Jason. And thankfully, I was able to get pregnant and we have a baby together. But I never forgot about the fact Jason did what he did. Cheating was bad enough, but you could move on. The STD was where it became not only unforgivable, but I would have taken issue with anyone in my family, even becoming friends with him after this point. There's no situation where you should be friends with someone's ex in your family. Unless you have children together. There's no need even children. There's no need for someone in your family to have communication with that person. Absolutely not. Their link to your family is you. Once that link is not there, it's done, killed, dead, next. But then 3 months ago, my sister asked me if I would be okay with her dating Jason. That's disgusting. Absolutely. Why would you want to be with someone who has been with your sister? Disgusting. Why would you, the fact that he cheated on your sister, he's going to cheat on you, and he gave your sister an STD, why would you want your family dinners to be that uncomfortable? Do you not love your sister in like the tiniest bit? Why do you hate her? Stupid. She told me that she didn't want to lose me, but they had met again after several years and she liked him and he had changed. I walked away from my sister without saying a word and she started dating Jason officially. Though when she came to me like she did and asked me like she did, I would have guessed they had been unofficial before that point and not just friendly. I have a gut feeling that she probably got that STD too, okay? No real good sister. One looks at her sister's man that way while they're together, okay? 2, after finding out what he did to your sister, if I had ever seen someone like that in public, you think the emotion that I would feel for him is love? Butterflies in my stomach? I would want to beat the shit out of him. How is it that you felt a connection with the man who did that to someone you love? You just either care about yourself more or you already liked him from the beginning and you were trying to shoot your shot when you were given the chance. And I bet all my money that it was the second one. I've shut my sister out of my life and she has not been allowed to come and meet my child. The rest of the family stands by me and what I decided, but they have not shut her out of their lives, which is totally fine and not an issue for me. But my sister doesn't like that and she has tried to get in touch with me several times and has cried and asked me to hear her out and to talk to her. The fact that I've run into her once since and I ignored her. She was talking to me, but I acted like she was a ghost and I couldn't see or hear her. So she ambushed me at my house the other day and told me she doesn't want to lose me and she'll break up with Jason if I stopped ignoring her and we can go back to being sisters. No, bridge is broken. I told her she lost me the second she even considered dating him. I told her I might not even know about it at that moment, but once I heard she wanted to date him, knowing what he did to me, it was over. She's crying about it now and her family are refusing to hear her cries about it. My baby sister, 24, told me she's trying to get the rest of the family to confront me about it, but nobody will. She does think our sister is genuinely hurt about this, but she feels like it's her own fault. And I agree. But I know what I said to her might still be overly harsh because even thinking about it without acting on it would have led to this, which might be wrong of me. So I'm here to ask, am I the asshole? Absolutely not. No. What? Like I said earlier, who even thinks about that? I have one sister and I'm so grateful for her. If someone had even done anything remotely to that, not like that person's dead to me as much as they were dead to her. Like what? You ride or die for your sister. Like, and the fact that she even thought it was okay to even bring it up to you. What? Yeah, go ahead. The man who cheated on me and gave me an STD. Yeah, go ahead and sleep with him, dear sister of mine. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Maybe she realized how stupid it was, or he started treating her like shit. And she's like, no, sister, I'll break up with him for you. Okay. I think a nap ruined my marriage. I, 28 female and married to 30 male. I've been married for under a year, but with my husband for 6. We have a 3-month-old little girl who's fantastic. I'm a first-time mom who's a stay-at-home mom. My husband works from home. I, 28 female and married to 30 male. I've been married for under a year, but with my husband for 6. We have a 3-month-old little girl who's fantastic. I'm a first-time mom who's a stay-at-home mom. My husband works from home. My husband's not dumb, just emotionally inept sometimes. I've had a lot of resentment building since I was pregnant. His mom tormented me through my pregnancy by talking about miscarriages, stillbirths, and saying dead baby to me every time my husband wasn't around. She denied, he sympathized with me, but nothing was truly ever done. Since I gave birth, my husband's just been clueless. When I was there recovering, he would go home and sleep and leave me all alone because the couch was uncomfortable. No way. You gave birth and your husband did not stay with you in the hospital and left you alone because the couch... Dude, as much as my brothers bicker about the couch being uncomfortable and like all that, it is, I get it. But so is pushing out like an 8-pound baby through hoo-ha. They would never leave their wife alone in a hospital. Like they suck it up. You just got to deal with it. Ugh, I hate him. Sorry about that. Let's go. I had to call him 20 times to get him to wake up and come back to the hospital because I was lonely. Then when he left, he was asking me to carry things to the car with him. The nurse had to tell him I shouldn't carry anything. I'd just given birth. Is your man a child? When we got home, he complained about his lack of sleep. Oh my God. Oh, brother, this guy stinks! I was struggling learning how to nurse. He was my cheerleader through nursing. I have to give him credit there. As the first 2 months went by, I was consistently bawling about how sleep deprived I was while he was getting 8 to 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep every night. It caused a lot of fights because I couldn't hear him tell me he was exhausted without having a meltdown. Then his mom would come over and they'd leave a huge mess for me to clean on more than one occasion. He complained about the basement being messy, so I helped him lift things and clean it up. It caused me to start bleeding heavily, and my doctor told me I shouldn't be lifting anything heavy. This is a point of contention because my husband continuously asked me to help him lift heavy things and I couldn't, so he'd get annoyed. Then he'd complain about it all day. Oh my God. Does he not know you most likely had stitches down there? That you're probably rupturing your stitches and you just gave birth to a human being, that you shouldn't be lifting anything, just being in your bed and being there with your child? This is too much for me to speak on. I'm just getting annoyed. Now we're at 3 months and I think my marriage is over. We've been distant ever since the baby arrived and I haven't wanted to sleep with him or be affectionate. My husband has been asking if I'm all right a lot and I say I'm fine. I don't know what else to say. But I feel miserable and tense up every time he walks in the same room as me. Today he was on my case about walking our dog. I'm so exhausted from exclusively breastfeeding and I don't have the energy to walk her. I had been up since 2:30 a.m. with my baby and just couldn't handle anything else on my plate. So he whined and moaned about doing it but promised me I could nap. I snapped and reminded him that I haven't slept a full 8 hours in months. He got pissy and stormed off. I don't know how a father, son, husband, brother, whatever could see their wife go through something as traumatic as childbirth and want her to walk the dog or take out the trash or lift stuff. I don't think he likes you. He avoided me the entire day and locked himself in his office. I spent the rest of the day randomly breaking down in full sobs because I was so tired. 11 p.m. hits and he hasn't come out of his office, so I finally break and go get him. He gives me the cold shoulder and I just break down. All the lack of support just broke me. I told him I hated him. I wish I could go home, and I even mentioned divorce. He calmed me down and apologized for being selfish. When I asked what he did all day, he said nap. He napped the whole day. While I was struggling to keep myself standing, he was napping. I broke down, I cried and cried. He was apologetic and showering me in sorries and I love yous. For the first time ever, I couldn't tell him I loved him too. Now it's 2 a.m. and I can't sleep because I'm so distraught. He's snoring next to me and I just hate him right now. I want to take my baby and run away. I don't want to live here anymore. Being a single mom seems easier than dealing with all of this emotional stress and neglect. What am I supposed to do? I just can't believe I'm ready to leave him all because he took a nap. You're not ready to leave him all because he took a nap, right? That was the straw that broke the camel's back. You're ready to leave him because he's inconsiderate towards you, right? Especially when it comes to couples who raise their children, especially at that newborn stage, without people around them, right? Like for me, I live with my brother and my sister-in-law. I have a helping hand in them. My brother's a hands-on father. I'm a hands-on aunt, right? My sister-in-law needs to go have her me time, have coffee and breathe a little bit. She goes and I watch her baby. That's what having a village around you does. But if you don't have that, I get a lot of people aren't as blessed to have that. That's why they have paternity leave. Take the paternity leave because the first couple months is the hardest. This is why women have postpartum depression, because stuff like this happens. You're alone and you're by yourself and you just hear a baby crying. One day it's not going to be just you. You're going to have thoughts about your baby, not good thoughts either. So if you're telling yourself now that this is not something you want and it's been consistent and he's not stepping up, then I would walk away too. Or even just take a break, go to your family's house, say, I can't deal with this until you realize that we had a child together as a couple. And I'm doing all the heavy lifting, literally and figuratively. Okay. She has an update. Do you guys think she left him or not? Not that she should. I'm not saying she should, but I don't think she did. So we talked. Well, I talked. He listened. I told him I couldn't do this anymore and something needed to change immediately, or I was going back home and taking my baby with me. He stared at me confused, but then he realized I had 2 bags packed by my dresser and ready to leave. I finally was able to articulate all the resentment that had been building. His mom's cruel. Oh my God, I freaking forgot about his mom. Who does that? Pause. When my sister had her baby, my mom and my mom would just come. We would clean her kitchen, clean her house. We would drop off food. We restocked her fridge, and then we would see the baby get hurt and we would dip. That's what you're supposed to do when a loved one, your son, your daughter, has a baby. Not have guests and like try to cater to them. And the thing is, you're a woman. You had a child. That's your son. Don't you remember how hard this stuff is? Sorry, continue. His mom's cruel and careless behavior, feeling abandoned at the hospital and now at home, how it feels that everything falls on me so he can bring a paycheck home. I realized after saying all of this, I hadn't really told him how I was feeling, but just continued to bottle it up. He was defensive at first, and I gave him one warning that if this conversation was filled with excuses, I'm walking out. Good for you. So he stopped and truly listened. He was genuinely remorseful. He only said sorry once at the end, and he meant it. Then he started asking me what I needed him to do. We made a plan, and I finally feel like I can breathe a little bit easier. He has dog walks handled indefinitely. Mother-in-law is banned from the house and to have no contact with me or the baby. Once husband's off work, I'm off duty for the day. I'll still breastfeed because I want to do that. I get a lot of fulfillment out of it, and if you saw the way my baby pats my boob when she nurses, you would too. Her big hazel eyes are like a drug. I'm typing this while soaking in a warm bath. I've been promised the weekend to decompress and sleep until my heart's content. I'll pump instead of nurse this weekend, and we have a stash of frozen milk he's planning on using. He knows what needs to be done. Her routine, how much to feed her, so I know he's capable. I can actually hear him unloading the dishwasher right now. We are planning on doing something as a couple one day out of each weekend so I don't feel like just a mom. I can be a person too. We're going to go to couples counseling, and I'm going to start individual therapy. He's already in therapy. He didn't have a dad who showed him what love looked like. Oh my God, I'm tired of these excuses. That is not what, hello. He had an adult toddler as a father who threw tantrums and verbally abused him and his mother. My husband often comments on how my dad drops everything in a nanosecond for me and how he wants to be like that. But he's not. He's failing me and his daughter. That was really tough for him to hear. So now we take it day by day if he's actually capable of change. I'll have to wait and see. My bags are still packed and by the door. I guess I have him there as a reminder to myself that leaving is an option at any moment I please. That makes me feel a little better. I'm hopeful but not delusional. I know we might be able to come back from this, and that's okay. I have to take care of myself so my little girl has a mama who smiles at things besides her. I have an appointment scheduled for a postpartum depression screening, and my mom's planning on visiting the start of next month. My family is ready with their door wide open when I choose to come home. It made me cry to hear my dad tell me he'll be the one. Oh my God. So sweet. It made me cry to hear my dad tell me he'll be on the first flight when I'm ready so I don't have to fly home alone. Like that is a man. Like, imagine saying like, I'm going to go pick you up. Not even come home. The door's always open. I'm going to bring you home. I love that. Like, I hope it gets better for you though, genuinely. All right, you guys, it's time for the last story of today's episode. And this is a story sent by one of you guys, a viewer, a listener. Don't forget, you can also post your story on the subreddit WithLove_Lola on Reddit, where I can read your stories and others can help give your advice too. This one's titled, Am I wrong for refusing to let my sister name her baby after the girl she bullied to death? Hi, Lola. Okay. This might get me cut off from my family entirely, but I honestly don't care anymore. I can't let this go. I, 29 female, have a younger sister, Emma, 26 female, who was a full-on mean girl in high school. Think Regina George levels of petty, manipulative, cruel energy, but with way more trauma behind it. So no one ever really held her accountable. She always had this one girl she targeted. Let's call her Riley. Riley was quiet, artsy, wore thrift store clothes before it was trendy. Emma hated her. She made it her personal mission to ruin that girl's life for literally 4 years straight. Fake rumors, cruel notes, messing with her locker, even catfishing her with the fake boyfriend account and getting the whole school involved. It was disgusting. I called her out once and my parents told me to stop trying to parent my sibling. Classic. Anyway, fast forward to now. Emma's pregnant. First baby. Everyone's over the moon. She just hit the point where she's announcing the baby name to the family. She stands up at our little brunch and says, her name is going to be Riley. I laughed, thinking she was joking, but she was dead serious. I straight up said, you're naming your daughter after the girl you bullied into therapy and who ended up dying by suicide her sophomore year? Dead silence. She gets all defensive, says she's not that person anymore, and that she always admired Riley deep down, that it's her way of honoring her. I was like, you don't honor someone you destroyed. You rename yourself, not your child. She ran out crying. My parents are furious with me saying I ruined her moment and she's trying to grow. But no, absolutely not. I draw the line at dragging an innocent baby into your redemption arc. So, am I the asshole for refusing to support my sister naming her baby after the girl whose life she helped destroy? Oh my God. So I assume because you said sophomore year, her sophomore year of college. No, good for you for standing up, for saying stuff that no one else would say. The reason why people like that continue that kind of behavior is because they never get reprimanded for it. You should shame her. Shame works. Imagine Riley's parents, if they find out that her bully named their daughter after her. I would be pissed too. Like, who do you think you are? Like, don't ever take my daughter's name and put it in. Like, no, my gosh. And that's the tea on using your baby as a character redemption arc. Naming your child is All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Let me know, was our storyteller out of pocket or just finally saying what no one else had the guts to? Make sure to like and subscribe and comment on this video if you enjoyed what you watched. You know where to find me. Until next time, with heart and honesty, and as always, with love, Lola. Bye.